friends. Welcome to our October of 2024 astrological preview video. My name is Jenny Sellers. I am the creator and owner of True North Empowerment, and it is my joy to get to share with you each and every month the astrological outlook for the month ahead. We are in one of the most dynamic periods of the year right now, and here's why. September 17th, we walked through a really interesting and powerful eclipse. This was the first eclipse in a new energy axis. So we talked about this a little bit last month. You're welcome to go back and watch that video. But what we are walking through during this eclipse on the 17th of September was the first eclipse in a new axis of energy. Over the last year to 18 months or so, we've been walking through eclipses along the Aries Libra axis, which sit on opposite sides of the zodiac from one another. I've been calling it kind of the me-we axis. This eclipse that we just had on September 17th was the first eclipse in a new axis of energy. So it was the first eclipse. It was a full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. The next axis that we'll be shifting into throughout 2025 and beyond is going to be the Pisces Virgo axis, where we're looking at dreams versus reality. So this eclipse that happened on September 17th was the start of a new era of eclipses where we've been looking at kind of our dreams. What is it that we want to build and create? What are our emotions bringing forward for us? Pisces is the sign that connects us between this world and the next. And so there's a lot of etheric energy, ethereal energy. Our sleep may have been a little disrupted towards the middle to end of last month. And there was a lot happening around that eclipse as it pertains to our action potential energy, towards stepping outside of our comfort zones and into the uncomfortable. And so if you're still kind of walking through that energy as you're watching this video, just know that the effects of eclipses occur for us several weeks before and several weeks after. But that was the eclipse of September. October, we kick the month off with a new moon eclipse in the sign of Libra. And whereas the September 17th eclipse was the first in a new axis of energy, this eclipse on October 2nd is actually the last of the Libra eclipses. So over the last year, specifically since October of 2023, we've been experiencing eclipses in Libra and in Aries, but the first Libra eclipse happened in October of 23. The last is happening in October of 24. So take a moment to really kind of think about how your relationships have changed over the last year. Since October of 23 to October of 24, how have your most important relationships changed? Spend some time with this because this eclipse is also very powerful. It is the end of a phase or a cycle regarding certain relationships. This does not always mean romantic relationships, although it can. It can be friendships, work partnerships, the people that we keep closest to us. It does not necessarily mean that something is ending. It does mean that a phase or a transition inside of those relationships are ending. And really think back over the last year, again, from October of 23 to October of 24, how have your relationships changed? Because this is happening opposite some stuff in the astrology that is also kind of pushing us out of our comfort zones. And so this could be a little bit of an uncomfortable eclipse. It's also happening right on top of Mercury, which is the ruling planet of Libra. So this is like Libra on steroids eclipse. So just know, again, if you've been feeling into this relationship energy for the last several weeks and even weeks beyond October 2nd, this change, this transition, this overwhelm of energy that comes from eclipse season, which comes every 6 months, it kind of keeps us in check and aligned with where we're supposed to be going. All of this is happening as a result of these eclipses. So keep your eyes open for the beginning of the month and any relationship wins or challenges that might come your way. Then on the 7th, we have this follows right on the heels of the eclipse. We have this T-square energy, but though it's not actually exact to the degree, I feel like it's important for everybody to know about it. So a T-square in astrology, look it up. It is a challenging, stressful energy. There's like a push-pull between two different areas of the zodiac, and that's one area that will really kind of help alleviate some of that for us. Um, this is happening with the Sun and Mercury kind of sitting right on top of one of another in Libra, while on the opposite side of the zodiac, we have Chiron, which is the asteroid that is tied to our deepest wounds and patterns, in the sign of Aries, which is the action sign. So we've got this like push pull about like where we need to be going, and how we need to be connecting with people. Again, relationship focused as it pertains to our deep wounds and patterns as we take action. And then this other action potential energy coming from Mars and Cancer. So it's how does the push pull between those two things really take form for us, through taking action regarding our emotions, our home, and our family lives. So this T square like energy, again, this is not an exact to the degree T square. So I'm bringing it up because it's still present. It's just not super exact, in the astrological chart. It's with us for almost a whole week, from the 7th to like around the 14th or so. So just be aware that all of this on the heels of the eclipse in the sign of relationships, with the ruling planet being right there of Libra, there's so much stuff happening in our relationships right now. So just be patient, be kind to both yourself and those who you are in relationship with, because this is rocky territory. But hopefully, we will emerge from the other side, fully refreshed and ready to take on the world. Otherwise, throughout the month, we have Jupiter turning retrograde, which it will stay retrograde for a little while. Pluto turning direct in the sign of Capricorn. So, in our money, our financial worlds, the structures, the stability that we keep around us, we might be feeling more re-inspired to kind of get back into the swing of things there. Pluto's been retrograde since May 2nd. And so there could be a new infusion of energy as Pluto turns direct kind of, mid-month. Also, mid-month, we have our first little infusion of Scorpio energy when Mercury moves into the sign. Scorpio is this beautiful part of the zodiac where we're asked to take everything we've learned since March and transmute it, integrate it, and rebirth anew. And so Scorpio is the sign that kind of talks about death and rebirth, transformation, change, letting things go to make space for newness. The fact that this is all happening kind of right on the heels of the eclipse tells me that there's opportunity for newness that will be born from this eclipse energy as well. We also have our first infusion of Sagittarius energy when Venus moves into the sign on the 17th. Sagittarius is all about fresh thoughts, taking what we learned through Scorpio season and really letting those experiences, dictate how we see the world and how we show up in the world, how we serve the world, what our thought processes are, what our belief systems are, what our faith says, what our spirituality says, how other people in this world live. Sagittarius is a big thinking sign, and it encourages us, again, to take what we've learned through Scorpio season and really integrate it into knowledge that can serve others. So Venus, just a little like whisper of that energy will be coming through when Venus moves into that sign on the 17th. On the 17th, also, we have a full moon in Aries. So we look at what do we need to let go of so that we can really take action towards what it is that we're trying to build. It is a new cycle having this full moon happen in Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So there's this new, energy that's kind of present with us around the 17th. We have a lot of other kind of squares happening and other things throughout the remainder of the month. But most importantly, kind of towards the end of the month, we have the sun moving into Scorpio on October 22nd. And so that will be that beginning of the Phoenix type energy where we kind of burn down to rise anew. That will walk forward with us through the end of October and halfway, 3/4 of the way through November. So just be prepared to kind of return back quietly into your introspective self and listen for and make space for everything you've learned and what you want to build anew. Otherwise, again, there's like oppositions and squares and things happening. And yeah, they all kind of pertain to action energy as well as money and relationship challenges. I think it's still all feeding off of that October 2nd eclipse. So be really gentle. Again, the key theme for this month as we walk through this second eclipse of this eclipse season is truly to be gentle and kind to yourself and to be gentle and kind to those who you keep your time with, because everybody's walking through it. Change and transition is hard. People coming into and out of our lives is challenging. Just as you're taking these necessary steps, just be super gentle with yourself, okay? And others. Have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next month's video.